I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, I thank you for all the blessings you've given us. Thank you, Lord, for watching over us and watching over us as a county and watching over us as a country. Pray, Lord, that the things that we do and say today will be pleasing to you, and that the work that we do will be work that is in the best interest, Lord, of the residents of Adams County. I ask all these things, Lord, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you.
All right, we've had an opportunity to look at the minutes from February 20th, 2024. And I know Tony made one small change to that. Did you send those back out again after you changed that?
I don't know if they went to everybody, but I changed it for the official meeting.
The only thing that he had made a change on from what he sent out, other matters properly presented. Initially, he had that the drainage board would be getting cell phones, where in reality, it's the surveyor crew that's getting cell phones. So,
Yep. Make a motion to approve those minutes as amended.
Second.
okay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Two more. Okay. You want me to sign that? He's not right here. I'll speak up.
You can if you want to. You did second the motion, so.
That's fine.
And make a note on there that Jim was late.
So noted.
Commissioner's like.
You want to put with that, he was taking care of his wife before he left?
Oh, well.
Yeah, we don't take excuses.
What'd you say?
Yeah, this was approved.
Don't take excuses. And he's joking.
I know, that shut him up, didn't it?
Is she doing okay, your wife? You doing okay, or she's?
We pressed on her.
That's good. Change your bedding before. Yes, I bet he might her.
Plus I was looking at it.
Yeah, she's been here for four days.
Should be fine.
He's in bad shape.
But
I don't think we need to amend it because he's going to be at the update.
See at his conference.
I didn't see them. He said two, I think.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is it was Bree's fault?
That insurance, it wouldn't have been.
Why?
That week.
They approved payroll claims last week on that amount.
It's quick.
He says that.
Get that earlier, because that's been going for quite a while.
Well, they said it. Stomach was through.
If this is what we talked about, do we have to go back?
Hold on.
Yes.
I'm not.
Starting to.
Okay, this is
Yes.
February, where are we on?
Okay.
They approved
He's
these.
been a good guy.
He's doing a good job.
They approved these on the 20th.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Tipples me his fault.
It
He's such a way up and so.
And we didn't have
Well,
a
the city's
study that.
Democratic.
no,
Large be-
they shouldn't have approved them.
Prior to,
Well, it's got a
They shouldn't have
different-
because they missed the meeting on the 13th.
But a lot of Democrats
They didn't meet the 13th.
They always, when it comes down to leadership, they always want to Democrat man.
No, this is the payroll we get
I
paid
can
on.
understand.
This is this week.
Why I put that amount early. I don't know why I did.
Have we done?
So we can do one or two
So we were
things.
just doing that,
Hold on.
yeah. Steve gets it on, yeah. I've done the minutes. Can't keep my mouth shut. His computer went down.
Man, watch it.
That's it.
Nobody's getting paid this week.
Okay.
Gotta get the, calling the expert. She'll take his job in about 5 years. He's got one more term and she'll take him.
I hope so.
Oh, you got that list? Beautiful. Yeah, this is the only one.
And so this is the payroll that we're getting this Friday, that they need to adjourn today.
Okay.
That's 200. Well, it's 200, but.
What's this
It's a little
for?
lengthy.
So maybe that
What's
was the
this
one
for?
previous.
He just has arm slices.
What's that number?
We're low on some of these here, the Calvin.
376.98.
That's way.
That is the
down.
payroll.
Way
Are we gonna discuss that some more today again or what?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
216.
Probably not. I just wanted to mention it.
Okay.
But you do have that they signed that last week,
Yes,
but that was because,
But did you show?
I understand it now.
I've
previously showed them.
Right, you guys did meet on the 13th. This was the one before the 13th that you guys had to approve.
Gotcha.
This is
this
gonna
is
be
the
the new one.
upcoming.
Okay.
This
Got
one's on track,
Got it. So this is still correct?
These are correct.
Yes.
yes.
And those time card things you signed, that might be updated too. Probably need to approve those too. Okay.
Which,
If you've got
are they
a,
the ones Shannon brought up
Yeah,
today?
yeah.
are you
They
gonna,
go with this, they're
Okay,
for
gotcha.
this.
are you
payroll.
gonna do claims next? If you do that while she's down?
I can do that once you can. I know the
In case
big,
we got any
the
questions.
big thing in there was Liberty Mutual Insurance at 382,000 or something. That was the biggie. We'll just call me on and we'll do those first.
Okay. All right, Tony, why don't you go ahead?
Let's go ahead and go to accounts payable claims first, while Bree's down here in case you have a question. She's just emailed those to you. I can tell you the biggest part of the accounts payable claims this cycle is the payment to Liberty Mutual for the county insurance. That's an annual payment. That was what, 300 and something, 370, 75 maybe?
62.5.
Yeah, so that's the big part of that.
Okay, well, since she just emailed the claims, take a minute or two to look over those and see if there's anything here.
Yeah, if you have questions.
I think it's a year. Go this.
No, that's what I have.
Steve, that Board of Zoning, Beckman Lawson for 4497, is that a consultant that,
That's their lawyer.
oh, that's the, okay,
I think that's Pat Hess.
gotcha. So the Liberty Mutual is an annual,
What?
the Liberty Mutual is an annual.
That's annual.
Yeah, but I don't believe that's all of it.
We're still going to have Cincinnati life insurance, the property portion of it, that's still going to be coming. Because the total with both was 475,000. This is just a Liberty Mutual.
We've played one or two smaller ones to Cincinnati. I don't remember if there's one on
That
the,
was a boiler, machinery, and a drone.
So this one would be for liability probably.
That's for everything except property,
Gotcha.
except for the buildings. Cincinnati is doing that.
All right. Okay,
What is that total, Stan? Do you have the overall or how many?
The total on the accounts payable is 588, 556, 60. 588, 556, 60, and the biggest portion of that is the annual liability insurance.
I got that down, 360.
I don't have a problem.
No,
okay.
I'll make a motion, we accept.
She already
the
does.
accounts payable.
But she,
Okay. So,
okay, there's that.
She's big.
13
pounds on there.
Is that your copy of the minutes or the ones that need signed? That's just.
This is
mine. Okay, good. Next, I have payroll claims. And these payroll claims are in the amount of $382,231.18, $382,231.18.
And this is for payroll. It's for payroll, this is three.
For payroll coming this Friday.
Good.
Yeah,
Thanks, Bree.
I think so. If not, I got WebEx. WebEx, yeah.
It's accounts payable. All right.
Okay,
Any questions on payroll claims? If not, I'd take a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second.
And that is for the 382, 231, 18.
okay, and then the time card approval that I sent to you, let's go ahead and put that in the minutes today too. That's where you look at the department heads' time sheets and so forth.
Time card.
So we just need a motion and a second and a vote to be made in the minutes.
Second.
Okay,
Okay, motion carries to approve the timesheets for appointed positions.
all right, next we have Allied weekly health insurance claims. Those are in the amount this week of $25,419.70. Medical, $6,616.55. Prescriptions, RX, pharmacy, however you want to say it, $18,803.15 for a total of $25,419.70. I signed it to verify that they are appointments.
Very good. Any questions on that? Then I'll take a motion.
Second.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay. Actually, that, there it is. Yeah. Okay, then I have the Allied monthly health insurance claim. That's for the administration of it and so forth. The amount of the monthly Allied is $73,518.07. It just includes like bank fees, Allied annual fees, all the administration type fees for them doing the insurance.
Okay, any questions on that Allied administrative?
73,518.07.
Make motion to approve.
Well, second.
All right, motion carries, thank you.
Okay. Then I have the utilities paid in Lao, which just hand you a copy of it, I can hand those out.
Yep.
You guys want to share one, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
You.
Sharing is caring, Jim.
What do you want to force it?
So utilities paid in Lao, the amount is $41,470.53. $41,470.53.
Make a motion to approve the orders.
Second.
Okay, motion carries. I know we've talked about this in the past, and I don't know how hard it
And
would
now
be
Bree's going.
to do a look back on this,
Look back, what do you mean?
on what this same utility was
Like previous years?
1 year ago or previous years, to see any kind of,
Probably look that up. I don't know how far because we only got Lao in 2018.
well, and even a year in arrears, you know, just to look back,
Okay, next time we do those, I'll ask her if she can,
see how hard that would be to
Right.
do.
yeah,
Because I don't know how much digging that would take to.
I mean, because basically it's going to be whatever increases the phone service and those utilities have had.
Yeah, and just like some of the things like Verizon, I know as we had headphones and stuff, it'd be,
We got NIPSCO, AEP, AT&T, all that stuff.
yeah.
But
Maybe just
yeah,
ask,
I can ask her.
ask her and see.
Yep.
Okay, unless you got any questions, would you make a motion on that?
Yeah, it's already been motioned and
Yeah, it's done.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. have one more item. And it is the monthly weight and measures report submitted by Inspector Dan Hackman. I passed that out to you guys and to the press. It looks like there were 13 total inspections for the past month. I don't see any rejected or red tags. So,
Very good. He must have not been to the gas stations this month.
Make a motion to accept that report.
All right. Motion carries to accept that report into record. Thank you.
and that is all that I have.
Did I hand my agenda over to you guys?
No, we don't have that.
Can we make a copy of one?
No.
I can do it. I'll make a copy.
What do you want?
I can pull it up here.
Sure.
I'm still.
The engineer's not here, so.
Highway Department's next. I'll just lay it here so we can both see it. Here we go.
So, Brad, Paul?
Good morning. Have our monthly.
Sure. When he says monthly draw, what does he mean?
From the state, it's state transfer, DOT money, Department of Transportation.
Good.
Thank you.
Huge.
Could I have one, please?
Tony, just for you.
Gotta give me the minutes and then we scan them. Come on, Ian.
One or two there.
I got one.
Okay. Make sure I got one left over. So I can.
I need one, so I don't have to have it correct in the minutes.
So our monthly draw for our MVH for the month of February, $295,087.65. $295,087.65. And then on the back side, we are local road and street for the month of February, $44,875.98. $44,875.98.
That stays fairly consistent anyway.
It is, if you look back through the years, it's pretty consistent. You'll see some months are up, some are down, and those stay consistent too, it seems like, so.
Yeah. Very good. Any questions on that?
Nope.
No, we'd accept that in the record.
Second.
All right. Thank you.
So the only other thing I have is just kind of a heads up. The state is going to be doing 2 small structure replacements on 224 out by 101 this year. And so as normal, they send us and ask for an unofficial detour route, like we've done multiple times. So, Paul and I sit down and discuss where we feel traffic's going to go. So it's just a heads up. I just sent it to them what we were thinking. So they'll be sending back an official letter and, you gentlemen sign it, but it's going to be at 101 and 224. And as in the past, we kind of feel that it may not be a bad idea to do at that point, when it comes to it, a temporary no-through truck would be great. So that way it can at least be enforced. So this is just a heads up, like I said, once they finally decide to get a better timeline on it, then we'll know. But right now, they don't have a time just this summer.
That's at 101 and 224.
Correct. They're actually going to do one on each side of 101 North. So it's going to be 2 different detours.
Right. Can I add to that?
Yeah.
When I was out there they did their early, what are your interview part.
Yeah.
As utilities. They were also looking at replacing something on 33 east of 27. So the people out there didn't know about that.
Okay.
They were talking amongst themselves.
Yeah.
So any detours, that's gonna mess up their detours.
Is that gonna be the same time frame?
They were thinking that if they didn't.
Oh, yeah,
they
that'd
didn't have,
be-
they didn't have time line out yet.
Okay.
But the
I-
way things were progressing,
Yeah.
it looked like it might have been pretty close.
They have not sent me anything about that.
I think it's like culvert somewhere east there by
Okay.
by the strait, by the river.
Okay. So I haven't
Yeah,
heard
that
anything
could
about
really goof things up.
Yeah, so I think they were looking at changing their schedule around. Just saying that because they were trying, the highway department amongst themselves, that could all be close.
Yeah, same time.
Well, these are both state roads, so they'd both be state projects, right?
Correct. So, and if you're interested, once they do the one on the west side of 101 North, we told them 400 East, which comes straight down off of 101 North, to 600 North back into Decatur city limits. Yeah, it's gonna be your obvious easiest route once you hit that point. And then the other one, when they do.
And that'll be okay for trucks too, to come down to?
No,
600?
there should be no trucks there, and that's the other reason we would like to get the no-through truck route. The unofficials are for local traffic, which there shouldn't be any semis there anyhow, because that's the state detour. So once they get to that point, if we don't have anything there, or, and being enforced, there's nothing to do about it. So then the other one, when they do on the east side of 101 North, so they're gonna come up 101 going north, once they hit 224, we figured they're just gonna go straight on 500 East up to 750 North and cut back over to Decatur. So that was the other route we chose. Basically the closest, the straightest routes they can take. So, but like I said, this is just a heads up. Once they give me the official letter, then come back and also have a meeting with Clayton and Mark Thursday, and so we'll talk about this a little bit then too. So, yeah. And that's all I got today. So,
Okay.
There'll be no trucks on the other one, to the east side, no truck on both.
on our unofficial detour.
Oh, no truck, good.
Yes.
Clear, right?
So when are they gonna start that and how long is it gonna last?
Oh, yeah. They haven't had a meeting date yet, but they're hoping this summer, and each one of them is gonna last 60 days.
50 days each.
Yeah. But they don't have a start date yet.
So they don't know if they'll get it done before school starts or not, or?
No.
Okay. So Mike, do you think they're gonna change the dates on one or the other?
They're also looking at the Monroe Street Bridge here, which is 224.
Wonder if we could do all three at the same time?
And they're looking at the Sherry ditch at Preble, right on the east side of Preble on 224. So we looked at all that in one day for the underground
Yeah,
utilities.
okay. Well, hopefully they coordinate. So they're not all.
It's really nice they're gonna do Preble 224 again because they could have done that all together and shut down last year.
Yeah. We'll have to talk to Nate, and see if we can do some small structure replacements in the same area.
Hey, yeah, that'd be a good idea. Just do it.
You shut the whole county down.
Yeah. That's right. All right. Well,
Thank you.
thanks for keeping an eye
Yeah.
on that. Is that?
Yep.
All right. Ed, do you have anything for us?
I do not.
Okay. All right, Shelley.
What about Rick?
You skipped Rick.
You skipped Rick on the agenda.
Oh, dang on it. All right, Rick, if you want to come on up. Sorry about that.
Rick, why don't you grow a little bit so you're more noticeable?
I don't know why I even checked.
Tony, I got an email from Bree, but I re-faxed those or re-scanned them. It didn't go through.
We are having issues with Doc Record. That is not their fault, it is on our end.
Okay.
Supposedly, they're working on it.
Really, just have one thing. Last week, I had told you I'd like to change out some smoke detectors. That's been done. We
We changed out 16 of them. Really, it was supposed to be like 15, but we changed one out last Friday. But I didn't anticipate, but we did it anyway. And I told you that quote would come in between 1,500 and 2,000. It came in at.
That's for the batteries,
That's
or that's
the-
for everything?
This is for everything, the battery, 2 battery backups for the panel, and 15 smoke detectors. $1,602.56. Would you guys like a copy?
No.
Again, that's $1,602.56.
And that's out of 1138, or that's out?
Correct. And that was all completed yesterday.
Well, that was nice that we had a couple volunteers to test the smoke detector in the restroom down there.
Yeah,
Inadvertent.
yeah.
Yeah, across smoke.
That's where the 16th came in.
Oh, good.
I changed it.
Yeah.
Other than that, you might see in the facility, I don't know. Actually, Carver Marball is behind us. We put up some more AEDs. Put another one up in this building.
Excellent.
They'll be going, there will be another one being put up in Superior Court. Talked to Judge Conrad Friday about that. And then, of course, we have one in there, so. So
Rick, does their training come along with those AEDs or can
they
we?
do.
Okay.
I just spoke with Carla a little bit ago, so I talked to Judge about this. Andy over there, he is trained, but since we got a new one, sorry, I can't think of her name, someone from the hospital can train anybody that they want over there. Here, the health department clinic, they're trained here.
Okay.
I want to tell you who it is at Circuit Court, like. But yes,
So we'll have trained.
yes.
And it's not Sandy over there. So, okay.
No, it's not, I can't, anyway. But yes, but all the bailiffs are deputies over there.
Well, I think that's impressive, because I know early defibrillation is the most significant intervention to survival of cardiac arrest. So that's good to find out more and more available.
She's had them, and we finally got some signs. They don't do any good, so.
Very good.
That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Well, let's check him off the header.
Done. All right. Shelley, you're 10 minutes early.
But that's okay, because Mark might be 10 minutes late.
The first one, and Stan, here's my agenda,
Ooh.
is the approval of the vote centers for the 2024 election year. I have drafted lease agreements that I quickly just sent to Clayton and Mark for their review real quick. But the election board met last Thursday and we went ahead and signed them. We actually want to start to have a lease agreement. So there's actually, between the facility that we use as a vote center and our county, so that it's well explained what is required, what is needed, what's the dates.
So
I
we
have
never had that before.
never had that before.
All right.
What we would do is we'd have your approval and then I would just do an availability letter to the vote centers. Are you available? Well, this is a little more direction between the facility and us and for each vote center. So we have the bridge in Decatur. That's the usual. We've changed KFC to the Riverside Center. We are still keeping Monroe Fire Station. We added in Bern, the Bridge Church down in Bern. we're gonna test this one to see if.
Where's that at?
It's on.
Old CTS building.
Oh, okay.
We're still keeping First Missionary Church in Bern. And then, as you probably are aware, that we had to change our, due to Steve Coon's help, is from the First Methodist Church that we always had used. It's going to be the old Adams Health Network Clinic, the former Limberlost. I didn't put it as former Limberlost. I didn't want to have that confusion. But we will be able to use that, at least for the primary. We have a lease agreement just for the hospital that Adam Miller would review and sign for them, because I'm not sure who changes hands after May. So I just did it for the primary.
Okay.
And
The
we're the only
hospital-
one that is free. The rest of them charge $40 to use their facility. So I don't know if you had an opportunity. They're all kind of like a blanket one.
And-
It's basically just,
Bern is CTS,
Okay.
They do $40 for the entire election.
yes.
the old CTS building now.
So was there any particular reason for changing from KFC to Riversound?
I actually did a kind of an analysis of the projection of voters that actually go to KFC
Okay.
and how it actually works with how we deliver and the location and all that. So this was all a contributing factor of trying to figure out what would be a better fit for Decatur.
Cool.
And the bridge is always number one in Decatur.
What was that?
Population, most of the voters seem to go there.
Okay.
Well, if they have an overflow, they can say,
Change
well,
from there
you can
to
go right down to
Riverside.
Riverside, there's no
Sure.
waiting. And it's a little more convenient for everybody as well.
Clayton, do these
Halfway
need
votes.
approved individually because they're signing individual agreements? Or can it be done as a blanket and they just sign them all? Particularly, I'm asking for the minutes to have an official in the minutes.
I mean, they could be approved overall. I mean, you would want to
And then
know,
just sign it.
you would want to note in the minutes though every location.
Yeah.
Um,
I just didn't want to do it like,
sorry, I'm just finishing reading it though.
Sure. Do you want me to just have them get it?
That's fine, yeah.
Shirley, you have all of those, right?
Yeah.
Can we have them sign 2 copies that way?
Sure.
You'll have your copy.
You have
we'll
yours.
our copy.
Yeah, I just need one
So
copy.
you guys will be signing several of them. Once you
Any
approve.
question on the locations that she presented? Otherwise, I'd take a motion to approve them.
I'll make a motion that we approve the locations for voting.
A second.
Okay.
You guys will have 2 different copies, several pages where you sign on each agreement.
And once you sign, I will send to the facility as well for their signatures.
Kelly, you said some pay $40. You gotta pay, which ones, who pays what?
All of them except one.
Who, but,
So the one exception was the clinic that we're using, the empty building. They are not charging us $40.
that's for free then. I'll get that
The
later.
rest of them are all 40?
Shelley,
Charge $40.
oh my gosh.
Why the same amount? Why, that's all unusual. Why the same amount?
It's always been 40. Why 40? I don't know.
That's the way it's always been.
It's always been, and I'm keeping it that way. I budget that way.
Sleeping dogs lie.
And plus, we added burn, so there actually is an additional 40 that we
Probably
added.
janitor expense, I imagine, to clean up afterwards.
Yeah, we try to, and as I said, burn is gonna be kind of a test for the second one. We'll see how that goes, if we will keep the.
Could
the
you
burn rate.
re-explain what the one in First Methodist, I didn't quite get the designate where that is.
It's actually in Geneva.
It's in Geneva, right?
So First Methodist is no longer.
Right.
That used to be a long-standing vote center. Now it's going to be the former clinic. I'm trying to call it I Street Building. Not to get it
Downtown.
totally confused with the Adams
Put it
Memorial
down,
Hospital.
It's not the same building, it's a different building, but it's,
Because what they did was, they moved
uh-huh.
to their new facility in Geneva, so we're using their old facility.
Okay.
The old clinic is right across from the
It's down.
park and stuff in Geneva, right downtown.
Downtown, okay.
Apparently this is
And I
gonna be
really
big,
thank
right?
Steve Coons for helping me with trying to find Geneva, that's for sure. It was a struggle.
Shelley, when you send those out and get all those signatures, could you
I'll-
scan those back to me so we have the complete? Or I can bring ours over and you send them both, whatever's easiest for you.
Yeah, because I kind of did an email this morning to all of them saying that these agreements are being approved today. They'll be by email and mail.
It might be just as easy to, if you can, once each of them sign, to send the final, just scan it to me and we'll get it put in our records, if you would.
Yeah.
Shelley,
And publication, I really need to make sure that everyone is aware of the two vote centers.
up front,
Two vote centers. I really want the communication out for two vote centers. Two vote centers in Bern.
2 places to vote in Vernon.
Okay. What's the time they open and close?
6 to 6.
Yes, both will be 6 to 6.
That way for years.
I think that's the first group shot.
One of the earliest in the nation, really. It's
Second group,
working on those.
3:12.
Stan, you want to vote on that too? Or you want to vote on that also, or?
Yeah.
Okay, make it 3.
Shelley.
Thank you.
Unless he opposes or directly says he wants all three, it's probably just assumed that it's approval by all three.
That's
Unless
right.
it's denoted otherwise, whether he opposes or
Okay, I see.
he doesn't need to say, hey, I approve that
That's what I
too.
was doing for years. I just went back, okay.
I mean,
And you can, it's okay whichever way you do it, so.
Yeah, I know.
And if you got a question, you're certainly welcome to ask, so. Yeah. So
thank you.
you're anticipating a pretty good voter turnout this fall.
Well, for some reason, we have contested races on a lot of things.
Well, you probably in the primaries too, we're expecting a lot of people.
Yeah, so that's what I thought with adding another one and also making sure everybody's aware that we have moved 2 of them. So there's a lot of different changes this year.
Shelley, on the top here, are you putting today's date or are
I'd
they,
like to put the date,
okay.
since
That
it's our approval.
that may not be when they sign it.
Bless you.
Are these online?
I believe so. It has 6.
Shelley,
Yeah.
Are you adding another one? Was it kind of crowded just for one in Bern or what?
I know that we only have one satellite office one day in Bern, so that's why I thought we used to have 2 in Bern. But we haven't used one in a while, so that's why we added another one. We'll see. As I said, I'm going to check the traffic and see how it goes from there.
And as far as workers, are you pretty well covered as far as the poll workers and?
Well, if you have not noticed, I have really been hitting it hard with that, which is going to be another thing that I probably might want to mention. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, but I've been really working with party chairs to try to help them, try to seek poll workers. I've been putting out in my own personal page on Facebook to the Decatur forums and all that stuff. I've been trying to reach out that way to get as many people to be noticed that we need poll workers. There's a lot of them that may be retiring that we've had for many, many years. And that way we need to try to replace them in some way. And plus having additional places. I would like to try to, this is another thing I'm going to see if it works, half day. Because some of the older ones, it's a long day for them. It's 5 a.m. to almost 7 to 8 o'clock at night. That's a long day. So what I'm trying to do is see if we can even get enough additional to have half-day shifts. So that could only happen with clerks and judges.
You're
If
gonna
this is
have
a-
half-day shifts?
I'm gonna try. If we get enough people and see if it works, the thing of it is, if a first shifter comes in and their replacement does not, then they have to stay their entire day. But that's gonna be a whole different thing that I'm working with the party chairs. I'm actually creating contracts, so that we have actually something in writing for them to, sign and be approved in our election, board meetings. So,
I know they're working it because I just got a voicemail 20 minutes ago trying to recruit my wife to be a poll worker. So I know your party chairs are working it.
yeah, we're trying to.
How many
You're not
workers do we have? Do you know?
I didn't bring it. I'm sorry, Jim. I didn't bring I was thinking about discussing poll workers
What's the
today.
minimal per you poll? The minimal to run a poll, 5 or 6 or 4? I don't know.
So I would have one in sector
Oh,
I may have
Clayton says no.
three,
You can't.
I think three
Don't
judges,
go there, huh?
2 clerks, that's on a minimum. I'm increasing double time
It's in your-
on the heavier traffic ones.
So 6 is the minimal number to operate a poll.
Yeah.
But more.
And if you're running for election, you cannot work the poll.
Okay.
And there's so many people running, it's probably hard to find people for that reason.
And actually, if, what we passed in our resolution last week, if there's an opposed, which there are, delegates, state delegates, and precinctmen, their family members can serve as a poll worker.
They
They can
can
or they
serve.
cannot?
They can.
They can.
They can. We made that as a, because it's not going to be influential on that ballot for having a relative work. So we did do a resolution because there was quite a few people on for those 2 offices.
Where do they contact if they would like to work a poll? Do they call you or?
They can call our office and we'll direct them to the appropriate party chair,
What is that number? 724
5319.
531. Okay.
I wasn't expecting to talk about what we're, or I would have had all my stuff with me. And then, or they can call them directly, the party chairs that out their party. And it's on the website, which, that's one of the things I was gonna talk about. in a little
Okay,
bit.
sure.
Is there information off the website for some of this too?
You know that.
Should I just wait a minute before I get in the shell? I guess I'll just talk
You're on
about
a
the
roll.
election. Okay, all right, we'll do the election one time. I was gonna wait till,
Yeah, gentlemen,
Later,
let's
but-
let her continue.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a mention because it kind of segued in, and then I'll bring Michelle up to discuss the other matter I had on this agenda. Our election website, as you know, this is the only website, or as the website is the only media forum that we have for any information, and I hit it hard on that website. I don't know if anybody had the opportunity to use it, the election website, but how it works with us is I was trained by IT that I can add something onto the website. However, there is a delay on that information getting posted because IT has to approve it, which I'm okay with that. It's just the delay time period. There's a lot of information that I need constantly on that website. So it kind of delays things. And so I don't know if the commissioners want to look at that as something subject to have the department head be okay to approve, especially if this is an election. It's up to you guys how you want to decide. I don't want to create something that's going to be causing the county some issues, but I put on flyers. I know how to create a QR code. You've seen those things. They're on our flyers. Anything that I'm constantly updating, I'm putting on the website. I want people to be able to go there and check it out. That's constantly why we have this website, and that's the only forum. Which I'm segueing into this forum thing is, I'm going to ask you since Mark's not here. There's other counties that would like to, have created a Facebook page of voter registration. I would like to be able to, as an election administrator, have an election or voter registration site on the Facebook that we could post information. We can hopefully I haven't created a Facebook page in a long time, so this would have to be something I'd have to look into as far as how do you shut it down for no comments and that kind of thing. But I would like to have more information out there for the public because it's a need, it's a necessity for people, for our public to know where to go, what to do, how to,
That's where they go get their information.
Yes. So this is something.
How much of a delay does that make?
You have,
Because I know Ethan, it probably doesn't take long for Ethan to actually do it. It's just that Ethan has
He's
so much to
bombarded,
do.
and
So if you could be, especially during a heavy election year, if you could be approved by Ethan to make those changes.
I think Mike Brown would make
Some-
that, not
Yeah.
Ethan. That would be a
I
Mike
got
Brown decision.
Well,
Ethan
but
on
Ethan is the
Monday,
one
'cause
that,
Yeah, but Mike
I
has to
made
get
some
the
updates on
I
Friday.
understand that, but Ethan is the one that, yeah.
So on Friday, I made some updates, Stan, on our website. They weren't in there over the weekend
Right.
because it wasn't approved. And so I had to wait until Monday. I said, hey, I had made changes. I really need this information up there. So if anybody needs, Because I put poll worker training information up there.
Yeah.
You know, I put constantly I'm updating and putting different information. So that's the thing. I just kind of wanted to know if there was a way we can even.
Shelley, would it help if you just sent Ethan an email and said, hey, please take a quick look at this. I need it approved ASAP.
He did respond back that he will do better. But what's if he's pulled away on a project?
Well, I guess I'm just thinking if you have something that you need it
I-
immediately up, maybe routinely you don't bother him, but if you've got an emergency situation where you want to post it immediately, you could just send him an email asking to look at it
I don't know if
quickly.
it's like you, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to do that. You know, you're thinking of something and then okay. Then an hour later, oh, I need to, you know, so it's constant. Sometimes I'm throughout the day thinking of different things that my mind does not shut off, even at night. Then I'm adding stuff on the website, and then of course,
I guess I kind of hate to forego that second set of eyes looking at
I
it
like
before
that
it goes
idea.
live.
I do. I like the second set. It's just the delay factor, and I don't know.
Well, and I've had other departments ask me about this too. And so kind of what it comes down to for them is the security, because let's say if there's a department, not you necessarily, that makes a change on the website, and let's say it's not correct. You know, so Ethan, he doesn't go through everybody's page every day. So if there's information that's not correct up there, it could be up there for days before he would ever catch it. So, you know, their fear is to err on the side of caution, obviously, and security. So kind of it's going to come down to how critical are the delays. Like when you have new information up, is it critical that it gets up that day or that hour? Or in reality, can it be a day delay or a 2-day delay or something? You know, in reality.
And he has said that he's, especially during the election, because what we want to do is, because I'm trained, and he's actually going to train another person in my office for election night. You want those to be delayed? No.
Right.
That's what I was thinking too. If you're talking about election night results and things like that, that
We
needs
don't
to
want
be
to
pretty,
delay our results.
pretty
on the
prompt.
website. That's the thing, because he won't be in our office because we're going to be training, but he still has to approve it. So I keep emphasizing the fact, well, you have to, even you might be on your couch, you got to hit approve as soon as it's on there, because that is when everybody puts those results. So
Right.
that's the only thing too that I don't want,
Well, and maybe there's specific
if we can maybe
things
do
like
specific,
that,
yeah.
that we could, how do you want to handle? Do you want to talk to him about, hey, I'm asking for a specific time frame here to have immediate approval on changes? Or I don't know if that would be a good way to, because some of the election, like when we change voting centers, you know, that might not be as time critical as election result postings. So, I don't know how to compromise here, because you know how our IT department is about security and,
Well, and I also
So-
upload, when you start filing your election reports, your campaign finance reports, I try to do that as fast as I possibly can, because the media likes to know that right away. They like to
Oh.
look and stuff. So, I mean, that could be delayed a few. I mean, that's not something that, we just have
So
to
if-
say it's not posted yet, it's not posted yet.
yeah.
But
If there's a compromise for the sake of what's acceptable to you as far as a time frame for posting, you know, and obviously that's gonna be different with different information. So I don't know, but for him, cause I talked to him about, you know, when I had another department approach me, and I talked to him about this, and I don't think you're gonna wrestle that one away from him completely.
And I don't mind the approval. I like that idea. I really do. It's just, how do we expedite that, especially during elections?
Sure.
Anything else, it's fine. It's just that information for people that know. And I don't know about you, but if you're making a change and like over the weekend, I don't even remember what those changes were, because I can't see those changes
Mhm.
because I submitted it. And so I'm like, did I add that? I don't want to duplicate, you know, that's the only struggle I have too, is I
Yeah.
made a change. What change was it? Did it on Friday. So that's the only thing too, is,
Maybe let's see, talk to them about that as far as a compromise on expediting, you know, the real time critical stuff. And then maybe look at some of the other information and see whether a 2-day delay is acceptable or not. I don't know. And those are things that might.
So this brings me to the other media social platform is creating an Adams County voter registration
On Facebook.
Facebook. Clayton, I'm turning to you. You're like, no.
I think this has been brought up before, maybe not for voter registration, but other departments wanting a Facebook page. You run into issues just with retention of that page and then liability related to any response or liability to what's posted on that page. I think, Stan, you just got done discussing the utility of having RIT, the second set of eyes and scanning and making sure there's not incorrect information. I think it opens up a lot of avenues for mistakes like that could end up coming back from the county. That I think that's similar to what Mark has previously said in other situations related to county Facebook pages. That's my legal opinion on that as well.
Sheriff, did you have something?
No.
I hate it, Shelley, because I wish you had the ability to be more interactive with the public and responsive. And I understand the way we receive information has changed so much over the last few years, but I have to side with Clayton. It's just, the risk is just too great that we mess up somewhere. You've got the whole retention issue and it's tough.
Ed?
I just want to make a comment. We were instructed in some of our state Indiana Treasurers Association meetings not do an official Facebook page. That same reason, the liability issues, big time when you get in trouble. And I know in this case it would help. There's things that would help me as far as getting word out there on taxes, but they say, I hate it. Definitively do
I
not.
can use my own personal page to send out, like I just did for Decatur's sites. Said, hey, we need poll workers needed. Here's information, contact, blah, blah, blah. I don't like to have to use my own personal page to do that.
All right.
You know, I really don't. I don't want people looking at my photos. I mean, that's my own personal page, and my family, you don't really want to see that stuff either. So that's what makes it difficult when we're trying to do that. And I understand.
And on the same thing, they say to us, don't use your personal page, don't put together an official page, do not be on Facebook, period.
Don't be in social media.
Well, and I think our official position has to be that, you know, the county website has to be the definitive source for information from our county departments.
Yep.
So the best way we can handle that it is for security purposes decided by Mike and Ethan. And so if we can compromise on that and say, Ethan, I really, really need you to be on top of this on election day, election night, whatever, you know, because it's time critical. And because we just sat through a seminar yesterday, you know, on how to archive social media pages and all the different things that can happen, you know, on your page as far as comments that people make, comments you want to delete, comments that have legal implications. And it's like, oh, you know, that there's all kinds of stuff happens on social media. So, yeah. But yeah, as far as, I think we need to let the website be the definitive source of information from your office. And the best way that you can accomplish that, I suppose, is to work with Ethan on.
Well, I appreciate you guys listening. I wasn't really in
Yeah.
that, but I'm glad you brought this up and then we had the discussion.
But I think it's just another sign of how effective you're being, you know, in the clerk's office to make sure that people are informed in a timely way. So it doesn't go unappreciated for sure.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Michelle, you want to come on? as you saw on the agenda, this was another idea that I thought would be beneficial since Michelle's doing a great job with the transportation aspect and as for the county. And I thought, one day I was driving and I thought, oh, you know what would be nice for election day? To get as many voters to the polls as possible. So her and I, we had a discussion as far as how would this be covered. And so we went back and forth, and I will take $500 from the clerk for the election grant that I had received. I'm going to carve that out from there. And she said she would cover up to $500 as well. So there'd be $1,000 worth in coverage for getting a registered voter to the vote centers that day on election day. The thing of it is what I understand from Michelle, that they have to call in and the logistics of it. And
They just need to have it scheduled ahead of time, which they would know. We would have the voting sites already in our system, so they would just need to plan their ride, and then I would take the first 500 out of her chunk and then the next 500 out of ours.
So I wanted to make this kind of a public awareness of this so that on election day, if any registered voter that is unable to get themselves to the vote centers, they can call the
County Transit.
county transit.
What number is that?
724
Huh?
5316.
531.
What is it?
724 5316.
And you're saying they can call you if they need transported to vote somewhere?
As long as it's 24 hours in advance. Yep.
And there's no burn number, there's, you have to call the long distance for burn.
Right. It's
Okay,
just,
one of those things, okay.
yep.
But you have vans stationed in Burn, so you will cover the whole
Oh,
county.
yeah.
So this doesn't cross any kind of electioneering type thing. I mean,
I don't think that bill
There's no-
passed.
There's no problem.
No, that bill did not pass, but no, I don't think it shouldn't.
I mean, by us contributing money, there's no
It's really
problem.
just free transportation. That's all that you're contributing. I guess and this is just a general question, so you're each chipping in the 500. Is that then free transportation until that amount is expended?
And my guess for that, well, mine is 5 and hers is 5. So it would be $1,000 that would be utilized that day. And I don't know if it'll reach that high for primary. I doubt.
That would be 100 people. So we would figure there would be a voting center within the 0 to 9 miles, so it would be $5 each way. So $10 a person. So we can service people.
If you overgo that $1,000, then what, you just can tell people, now we can't.
Well, it would be up to their office as far as they will know who has called and scheduled. And she could let me know that, hey, we've already reached our 100 people.
So if I'm the 110th person to call, you're going to say, sorry, that's already filled, or?
Depends if you're a Republican.
Wait a minute.
You
It's
can't
like,
say
what
that.
is it,
That's
the
what they're
first-
trying to get away from.
First come, first served type thing, I guess. If they call in, that's how it's going to be, probably how she has her logs, I believe. If that's, I honestly, I don't know if 100 people would, for the primary, would be calling. Because I thought, well, if we have $1,000, we probably would have some left over. Because I only have this for the primary budgeted for this. So for the general, we would want to try to figure out something as well, because I think this is beneficial for our county. I think we should be doing something like that, getting as many registered voters in person to vote. So this is, I think the county should also be looking at as well for the future. So not only for this election cycle, but also, for the future.
Would there be any more efficient way to do that as far as, well, no, that wouldn't. I was just gonna say just having a shuttle to where you would actually take a group of people and then pick up a group of people. That probably would be. You'd still have to schedule on an individual basis.
Yeah.
We won't know till we try, will we?
And as a primary, has another one. It's going to be our test to see if this works or not.
I assume it's all just kind of new ground for you, Michelle, and I appreciate it.
I'm just love that she said yes, because I'm like, oh,
What a-
I know she's doing
What a
this.
neat opportunity and another public service to offer our county residents.
Does that need to be a motion and put in the minutes, Clay?
No,
Well,
Provide the transportation or whatever?
Well, and I
it's not
think
that, it's not the
this,
commissioners really doing it.
Okay.
It's just
this is
us
obviously,
telling them.
the 5311, the public transportation program is obviously something that the commissioners have supported very strongly. So to be able to use it like this, I think is very appropriate. So, yeah. So I appreciate you two working together to do that.
Thank you for listening, because I just wanted to make sure we put it out there so everybody's aware
Yeah.
of that out as well. All right, that's it. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Kelly.
Thanks, Sean.
All right. Mike Whirling.
Last week, we opened the bids for a new truck, a bed, and a trailer, and I have recommendations from my number one advisor here. Selking International was the lowest and the most responsive bid, $93,681.43. $93,681.43.
And that's for the chassis, right?
That was for the chassis, the truck chassis, yes.
Right here, so.
As information, they have a slot open, so it could be August, October this year. we
Wow.
Receive this.
Good.
Yeah, that was really good news.
Yeah.
How's that amount again? 93?
$93,681.43. And we had requested an extended warranty on it, 6 years, 150,000 miles for $6,300. But the warranty that exists with this is 5 years, 100,000 miles. So I would say we didn't need that.
Right.
Because we won't get the miles on it. If you're just an over-road truck,
Right.
you might get that, but we won't get that. So,
Do you want approvals individually or do you want to wait and do it all together?
you tell me.
Was that 6,000 on the 93? Or was the 93 plus the 6,000 for that extra warranty?
Yeah, that would be plus the 6.
Okay.
But you're saying you don't want that
I
6,000?
would, no, I would recommend that we don't need it.
Because you already have a 5 year.
We won't get the,
Okay.
we have 5-year, 150,000 miles, or sorry, 100,000 miles.
That's a
as
pretty
part of
good
it.
warranty, I think.
Yeah. As a reminder to the commissioners, the council approved $160,000 for both, for the total. So I'm assuming if you wanted to do it as one, and it's gonna go over the 160,000.
Yeah, it's gonna be over by.
But you're gonna have a little time, they're gonna have a little time to work with our office and figure out where that additional 16,000 can come from. If you remember, Paul Norris started this before he left, and now prices obviously have gone up. So the first 160 is ARPA. The remaining portion will be out of whatever line we can find that's suitable to take that out of.
If you accept what we're proposing, it'd be $16,388.43 extra. The good part of that is there's a value to our old truck and trailer, which at very conservative value is $21,000.
Okay.
But we'll have to keep that in service until we get
Until you get the
these
new.
Sure.
back,
Well, let's approve them individually as far as the truck and the trailer also maybe.
Okay.
And, you know, we could, I don't know, what are you guys thinking?
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation, of Sucking International for $93,681.43.
Okay.
Second.
All right.
Okay. W.A. Jones was the lowest, most responsive, actually the only one on the bed and the installation of that bed. And that comes
160, what again?
$36,118.00.
$1,000 plus.
$36,118.00.
And that also met all your specs?
And that met all the specs, yeah. That's actually the bid that we prefer.
Good.
So
Okay.
Do we feel that's a fair bid? Since it's the only bid, I guess I
it's
just
the
want to
only
make sure
bid
we aren't.
and it was a decent price too.
Okay, so it felt like it was fair. Okay, good deal. Make a motion to accept W.A. Jones for 3,618.
Second.
Okay, motion carries.
And then the trailer to haul the backhoe with the hook behind this thing. Indiana Trailer Sales was the only bid but they were very responsive. $46,589.00. 46,589.00. And that could be April, May delivery or June, July this year. They're very good. Josh told me that even if he'd have gotten more bids, they wouldn't match this. He said, this is way below his price.
Really?
He's looking to add contractor trailers into his.
So on this one, we'd probably approve this pending approval of the additional financing.
Okay,
You know, and then you'd have to take it to council.
yeah, that's.
But I mean, that's how I would think.
Do you have anything in your budget for truck and trailer replacement that's already sitting
No,
there?
we don't have anything. It's all, it's commissioners, we don't have it. And I went through our budget this morning, thinking, can we pull that money out from somewhere? The surveyor's office is very minimal to starting, and we can't get it out of the maintenance funds. That's out of the
See,
budget.
we've got our line item 42601, which is equipment. And at one time, I think we had put that truck and trailer in there.
I was thinking we had some money set aside for
And
that.
they took that out and
Okay.
took it out of ARPA, but yet it still shows an unexpended balance in that line item. It started out at 190. We still have 127,056, and I'm not sure what all comes out of that. It looks like they maybe decreased our appropriation on that a little bit, but
You should be able to take the remaining portion out of that. That's what Mike and I talked about that this morning. I think that would be an appropriate place because all the vehicles are in the commissioner's name. So I think that would be a good place to take the
unless
remaining.
there's something else I'm not seeing.
Now what I don't know, if they sell what they're using currently, let's say they get 20 grand on that, commissioners own those. So I'm guessing it comes back into the commissioner's budget or into county general somehow.
Probably just county general.
So that's probably what would happen if they sell the truck and trailer that they're using now.
Just go back into county general.
Yeah.
That sale would be you guys also doing that.
Sure.
It's your truck, your equipment.
Yeah.
All I do is talk to Josh Kurtenberg and made a call.
Well,
Through auction.
I guess, that equipment line item, 42601, like I say, as of today, is still showing $127,056.20.
We're just looking at taking 16 out of it.
So I guess at that point, we could approve it and take the additional out of that line item.
Okay.
Pending the sale of your other truck.
Down the line. Yeah. So the difference would be $16,388.40.
43 cents.
What's the next one?
16,388.43.
16,388.40.
Okay, got it.
So should we make the motion to accept it?
I think we can. And take the rest of the payment out of that.
Just the commissioner.
Of that line item.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Commission.
Okay, motion carries.
There's enough in there to cover it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank
think we're okay.
Thanks for the work, guys.
Mark with us here. Yeah, sir.
Okay, Mark?
Mark with us.
You got a lot of papers there.
Just two technically, they're just big.
Oh,
So I have two subdivisions.
this one, 950 and 1,000, and close to 650 west. So between 160 and Wells County, all they are doing is, my understanding is they're going to sell the farm ground and they're going to keep the woods. So they're literally just break out the woods. This is already
broke out.
Well, 2 lot subdivision, lot 1 being the big part being farmable, lot 2.
The speakers up there.
And then this lane keeps coming up to 2 other houses, which are up here. This property right here, which is 19.62 acres there, split in that middle.
So
make
where,
2 lots.
so does the county?
That keeps going all. That's their touching.
See,
That's our
this
development.
easement goes here and here and here. And they're just splitting this one.
Yep. There's already an existing easement to get to this existing lot, this existing lot, and this existing lot. Now they're splitting this one in half. If that makes sense. It's a real weird area. It's kind of, same point, it's kind of cool. If you look back.
So technically, the frontage for all these lots is right
there.
Okay.
You have
Wow.
much to that.
If you didn't know, you'd just think it was a continuation of the road. And I don't know if they don't plow. I wouldn't be shocked if when they're plowing that they don't plow, but I'm not sure of that.
It's worth going back and
It is
forth.
blue.
Brad had this out there. You remember when Brad took this out there?
I don't remember.
It kind of jogged just a hair and.
He said they went on back here so they could get turned around.
So they do plow.
There's no place to turn around if
Sure.
they don't go back here.
Yeah, good.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's.
So anyway, this particular piece is turning into just kind of giving bleak out.
I got that one changed.
Motion approved. Oh, be darned. You
Changed
gotta
the
sign
paper.
in the right
Oh,
spot.
I see that.
No, I didn't even notice
It is with me anyhow.
I just have to put it down and see.
Yeah.
I got to pay attention when you're signing, huh?
They got to pay attention.
Thank you. That's all I got.
Thanks, Mark.
You gonna be around today?
Yes, man.
Thank you.
Did you get that printed off for us?
Yes, sir. Okay, I got a couple more things I'm gonna go get.
Okay, no, Stan, I'm beginning to think that he's sure.
Thank you.
Look,
Thank you.
still usually has it to. Oh. I don't know why, but this is what's talking.
You better hurry.
What's next?
County attorney,
What's next, Attorney?
then Shannon.
Do you need something else or what?
My balls are yellow.
Yours are?
Oh, yeah.
Mine
Yeah,
are?
go,
No, mine are.
Oh.
Life's too short, Steve.
go take a break.
Don't do that
Nobody cares
anymore.
what Clayton says anyway.
You get old like me, you don't do that anymore.
Well, the first part for me, you guys already approved the appointment of Nathan Landis to the health board. We did do additional research. I don't know if, I think Stan was involved in those emails. The health board, political party affiliation actually does matter on the health board as well. There's not allowed to be more than 4 of one political party, but based on the makeup right now, that's not an issue either way. For whatever political party Nathan aligns with, I don't know. But there's not enough numbers to push it over the limit. So if you guys want to sign that appointment form, and that's for, as we stated before, that's for 4 years.
I can send you a copy, just hand you guys a copy after I take it up and notarize.
That's fine.
Did council end up making it?
Council had said Barry Shear could be their appointment,
So then
and
that
they
would,
wouldn't need to make one.
if Barry Shear is the council's appointment, then you will need to make it. Right. So be thinking, I guess, of another one to make. And I can resend you, if you guys want to have on hand, the list of enumerated positions they need to be pulled from. Because like with the mayor's recommendation to the commissioners, there are enumerated positions that person has to fall within for your appointment. The council's
general public.
The councils did not, because the statute for the council just states that the individual they appoint has to be a member of the general public, so it makes it a lot easier.
If you would do that,
Yeah.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll make a note.
Sign the appointment form for Nathan Landis to the health board.
If you see Julie Marie, remind her, you may want to bring an appointment form for council.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we, at the last council meeting, they make a decision in March.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just making a note here.
That's fine. I'll email her too.
Second thing, so we discussed it, last week. This is the pamphlet our office put together. That our office would propose you provide to the highway department so that it can go out with all equine drawn vehicle license plates this year. If you want me to read it out loud, I can. It's completely up to you. And I have copies for you, the press, if they move forward with it.
One of the things we talked about in your 3rd paragraph, as it talks about the rubber tires, says as a result, the commissioners are deliberating as to whether they should implement licensing fees to promote the use of said. I almost wonder if we should reflect that as either an adjustment to the licensing fees or a reduction in licensing fees or something, so that they know, hey, put rubber tires on, we might reduce your fees. Or just something as far as should implement an adjustment to licensing fees to promote the use of it.
I think right now, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Sid. I think right now with, that these discussions and the in-depth discussions haven't occurred yet. I think this is, I mean, the notification is enough to,
It just sounds like we're gonna charge them more for putting rubber tires.
Yeah, I don't really read it that way. I read it as
It's
a fee
promoting.
structure to promote use, so we're leaving it open-ended.
But yeah, I think it sounds good, and that'll be good to get, hopefully we get.
And these will be put in the,
Will you make more copies so we can give them to all?
plates to the,
Yeah. Do any of them have any yet?
Media, no, they
when they
do not.
buy
So
the
I need
plates,
30.
correct?
Yes, if you guys approve the pamphlet today, obviously all the media will get it and then it's gonna go,
Is this the pamphlet or is there another document that's the pamphlet?
that will be the pamphlet.
Okay, because it doesn't feel like a pamphlet to me. It feels like a notice. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
expect a pamphlet to be something that's folded and, you know what I mean?
Sure, it's a notice.
We're not that fancy.
Yeah, I thought,
I
oh,
didn't,
It's just a small thing.
with the logo on the front, you know?
I'm sorry, I didn't do that.
Sounds good. I think that'll be great. Hopefully we get good response from everybody, and a lot of discussion.
Prompt the discussion. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
thanks for doing that.
Looks good to me. Do we need a motion to approve?
Sure.
This is just the, this motion is just so we can stick these out there, correct?
Correct. Your motion today would just be to approve that notice,
Distribution of this
is
notice.
the distribution with
I'll
their,
make the motion that we distribute the notice as they pick up their license plates.
Second.
Okay, I'd vote in favor of that also. All right, thank you.
Put all of them in the extra.
Whole thing.
Verbatim.
That'll get some discussion going on.
Yes. Election year.
We haven't decided on the amounts the license will be.
again, we're not starting the discussion today, Jim. This is, the pamphlet says it
Well,
all.
they said it wouldn't change this year. It's gonna stay 120 this year.
I want to get
Place
their
all
attention.
year for next year.
Right.
I want to get their attention, so I'm going to put $1,000 on my sorry.
Oh, God.
I'll come to your funeral.
All right,
That's all I have.
we'll find your body in the loblolly one day.
You could have found
All
it
right.
yesterday. I was
Shannon,
there.
do you have anything for us?
She sent it to Betsy. Thanks.
I have an employee who was on FMLA last week, and she only had like 1 day of PTO available, so I just need to request 5-year pay for her, please. I think it's only going to be like days, maybe even 2 that she's going to use, but she was on FMLA the whole week, so I just need to have that.
Take a motion to approve, unless you've got discussion or questions.
I still, the whole 5-year pay thing just boggles my mind that we do that. I would like to discuss the practicality of that compensation piece, but it is what it is. So I'll make a motion to approve.
I have one question. It seems like this is coming up an awful lot. Has it always been this way or just the last couple of years?
I think that it's always been this way, but I think in past years, we haven't had as much visibility into time cards and pay and things like that as we have now. And we also have not maybe maintained some of the appropriate documentation that we should have had regarding stuff like this. So I think it's always happened and it's always been this way. It's just it's more visible now because of timekeeping and because of me, and it's more official. Let me put it that way.
What it was, the department head would come and say, hey, this person knows good work, blah, 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 like 2 weeks. That's how it was done before, and that was the end of it, and there was no record keeping of any kind, and you're supposed to only allowed to be able to do that, I think, once every 3 years. So it was 5 even back then, so that's what it's always been available.
It's just been brought to the commissioner's attention probably the last 2 years, so.
So I actually went through, and since we started with AOD officially in August of 2021, this is going to be my 8th person. So in almost 3 years, 2.5 years, I've had people that have taken advantage of it. So it does seem like it's happening all at once in these last 6 months. But I really wholeheartedly believe that it was happening and it was being paid. The commissioners just weren't officially approving it and we just didn't know about it. And I think that was a pre-HR thing that was happening.
Well, and I think you're right on both counts. Number one, we never had a specific HR director before to make people aware or as aware of this. So it's been more visible. But the other thing, by you being able to track it and get an approval, I mean, it makes it more visible to us too. So, you know, I think those couple of things have made it more. So if we want to look at the policy sometime, I think we can do that. But for right now, that is our policy.
Right. I mean, I'm gonna second it. I just wanted to ask a couple questions.
Yeah, but yeah, if we want to have a discussion on that policy, we should do that, yeah.
I have it
So,
on my list.
okay. All right, motion carries.
And the only other thing I have was, I didn't know if you guys want to discuss the appointment for ADA coordinator at all today, since all 3 of you were here.
I know the two people that we've seen appropriate, do you have any thoughts on ADA coordinator? Because I think we'd looked at maybe just having the discussion with Nate and Shannon. So I don't know, do you have any thoughts on that or?
No, I think that's really, I mean, that position's up to you guys, and your discussion of the same. I don't.
Do a damn thing. Okay.
Yeah,
We're the crap.
so.
Get what you pay for.
That's right. I mean, Shannon, I don't know if that's something that you would be willing to undertake.
Yeah, if that's what you guys want me to do.
Your thoughts on?
I guess I thought there was some discussion of Mark Wynn taking it.
So,
Kind of with his expertise, I think he feels like he probably understands the nuances of building and ADA compliance as it relates to building construction anyway.
Have we decided how much time this is really gonna take yet?
we estimated at what, 40 to 50 hours a year. So what the wage appeal committee talked about and approved was an initial salary of $2,000 a year. And then after 6 months, the time requirements would be reevaluated and brought back to the wage review committee for review. So initially, it would be a $2,000 a year.
So whoever we appoint for this position, are we going to require them to keep track of their hours so we know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing that we stressed in wage review as well is that because this is a new official capacity for us, we did want them to track our hours, and then we were going to report back, and I think it was September, to talk about whoever the person is, to talk about what they did, how many hours they spent, what kind of training they need, things like that. But the one thing that I did emphasize in that meeting is that this position is coordinating the efforts of making an accommodation if need be. This person is not necessarily supposed to be the subject matter expert in all of the things. So if it is Mark, then yes, Mark has the knowledge in building and planning, but Mark still would have to coordinate with IT if it's on the website. Or if it's, let's say it's Ethan, and, Ethan would still have to coordinate with Mark if it's building and planning. So I just want to emphasize that to you guys as well, is that this person is not necessarily going to be an expert in all of the accommodations across all of the departments. It's just not feasible. That's a full-time person. So
Yeah.
this is more about responding to grievances, coordinating the efforts, maintaining the transition plan, and making sure that information is publicly available.
I guess I would like, if she's willing, I would like Shannon to try it to start off with, because it sounds like it's a lot of administrative work as much as anything. But
If she's willing, are you willing to do it?
Absolutely, if that's what you guys want me to do.
Then I'll make that motion. That Shannon be appointed the ADA coordinator.
I'll second it.
Okay. I'd vote in favor of that too, and then, like we said, we'll reevaluate after 6 months and come back to the wage review committee. And
I want every T cross. I dot it.
And when I did talk to Nate about it, he told me he was happy to be a resource for me as well, because he obviously did it in Wells County. So I've at least got him on my team at minimum to start with.
And just for comparison's sake, they've got the same position in Wells County and they pay them $3,000 a year. So,
Oh, they do?
okay.
So
So
we-
We didn't start at the heaviest, we started, and we'll manage it from there.
And then also, whatever education it takes to get up to speed, you know, we're gonna cover, out of Commissioner's budget. Because we did initially discuss in the wage review committee, a stipend going directly to the employee to cover their learning curve. But we thought, well, if we're gonna pay for their, education and seminar to get up to speed, we just didn't recommend that.
Okay.
So.
Steve, didn't you
That's on
sign
the
something?
hook now.
Didn't you?
You will when you once I bring it back. I'll bring an appointment for him next meeting.
Okay,
Did-
I'll gut it out one more week.
Not yet. How much time did you put, for the last month, how much time did you put in?
You give out a call.
Zero.
I told you, you get what you pay for.
Do we need an appointment form like Steve signed for that position?
Yeah, I'll get
You
one.
gonna have one? Okay.
All right, well, thank you, Shannon, for accepting that responsibility.
Absolutely, that's all I have. Easy day.
All right.
Shannon.
Unless if Angie just wants to make it.
She does it or 3%?
That's fine. I'll just have it. That's normally, I think, what happens. Brooke sends it over. So
I'm gonna kind of look through my business real quick. Mark, I'm not sure, you probably know and have found out, but we did close on that property at the Merit Center. So that property is now we have possession of that.
Sent stuff to the architect, and it's being used, and it's supposed to be correcting some things on it, and bringing it back to the
I've got my official orientation tomorrow for the CMHC board, so we'll see what I need.
Hopefully they can orient you well.
So, Steve, any updates on the comprehensive?
I don't think so. We'll meet again on Friday morning. We're going to continue to work on kind of a mission statement, and we're going to talk about the areas of the emphasis that we think will be covered in the vision plan and kind of the next steps.
So kind of changed it from comprehensive to vision.
Yeah, we're kind of dropping the word comprehensive and talking about a vision plan to kind of move away from the confusion it created with the comprehensive land use plan.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Oh, man, they're getting earlier all the time.
I know. Problem is getting in the building.
The papers have been good about publishing those
Rick
as a
chastised
public
me for
service
propping the door
announcement.
open, so I can't do that anymore. So,
Steve didn't hear my compliment.
I'm gonna have to
yeah, you've done a good job.
get up before breakfast.
You're already having coffee at 5 in the morning, aren't you?
Yes. Unfortunately, I am. We do have another solar eclipse meeting coming up with preparations for that.
Do you know if there's going to be an opportunity to distribute glasses anywhere, a public distribution of the things?
I think they were-
Watch this.
I wondered about that.
EMA has some out there. I don't know how many.
Health department has a bunch of them, too.
Who does?
Health department. They're supposed to be getting flash.
I'm in the dark about it.
That's a good one. I'm gonna watch one on TV. That's very safe. It's on TV. What the hell?
Good idea.
We're gonna start handing
What
out
you got
welding
TV?
helmets.
Where's this meeting at for the?
The solar, let me see if I can find it.
The amount of people will eclipse any former events.
That was,
Lexington County.
that was a
that's
stretch.
all the school kids in
That wasn't
Lexington
business.
County. Yeah, it was on the news last night. Every kid got one.
You have to come up with some now.
I do.
So.
You going to that one?
She said something about
Yeah,
solar,
looking.
I'd like to.
you're gonna get a crowd.
It's open. Is it open?
Yeah.
Well, you can let us.
Solar fans.
Just tight in. That's on a Friday.
I think it's
Wednesday, March 20th.
Is
April 8th.
The 8th?
April 8th.
We're at.
I think it's a Monday.
It is.
It's the operations center at the jail.
Out of the jail. What time?
Looks like 10 a.m.
10. Okay.
Says this meeting will be open to the public so we can update the community with information that our 6 subcommittees have been working on.
All right. Just tell me where to pick up my glasses at. Good.
Health department.
I'm telling you, you can just use a welding helmet.
I don't have a welding helmet anymore, Stan. When I moved off the farm, I left my welding helmet behind.
Mike's probably got one.
Don't use a welding helmet with auto darkening because it will not darken, you're gonna burn your eyes.
Oh. Don't use a fancy welding helmet, huh?
We're past time and still recording.
I never had one of those. It was always,
I think we are.
Mine, I had to start welding before I stopped.
yeah. It's one of our, it's probably the reason I can't see very well anymore.
What else you got, Stan?
I'm looking.
You trying to find something, or I can give a couple ideas.
You want to close this in prayer so we can go?
Ready, my motion to
All
adjourn
right,
is right.
no, I don't have anything else that I'm gonna bring up today. Anything from the general public?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All right,